You know, you think about it, puts you almost like a man up, so to speak. The Valkyrie that comes in for Nuss, that's when you use your Deadeye. You're going to use your own Valkyrie as well. You see the zoning here.
Ooh, Sire player was hoping for the happy white skulls, doesn't get them. Comes in with a flashbang though. It doesn't really, you know, perturb Jester too much, but he does need to back away because there's no burst healing in a composition that features Mercy in the Zenyatta, and that's a nice way to finish off a D.Va mech. Tvik now.
No, it's already at half health here.
Yeah, Tvik can see it, so he's just radioing that back, but Sire player couldn't see it. One shot with the Peacemaker though could have kept him alive. I find that interesting. He is brought back to life, but Tvik falls to just the bear trap damage from Prophet, so he must have been very low, and he would have been backing away. Sire player caught up, taken down. The Mayhem, that Riptire just sort of broke him apart. Zuper is having a sick round. His third final blow, way ahead of the rest of his team. His Zenyatta's really started to rip on the Spitfire.
Gesture probably would have had Zebosai when he uses that leap in Primal Rage. It kind of clips that pillar and he's not able to get up as high as he thinks in the sky.
Oh, nice.
It's a big pick. You may be able to use Transcendence to res this.
Alright, Nuss.
Oh, they're going the
backing
opposite
away.
way. They're holding it.
Yeah, Zupe going down on the point there, but Nuss has been removed now. Bidosha might be the next target. They'll support that. Oh, Prophet doesn't care. It's a double pulse bomb kill over on the point, and Zebosai and Sire player fell to it. One might say it could have been Zebosai, Guardian Angeling in Sire. Okay.
You have a pulse bomb for Tvik. Let's see if he can do the same thing.
Oh, Jester's caught out. Sire player rolls forward, gets the flash. He's down to 50 HP. He's being chased down. I know you love when I say H like that. Jester, oh no, he's overshot! What have you done? He does get knocked away by Awesome Guy, so he gets a little bit of extra distance away from that, so it's not his fault. We'll give him that. But he can't be resurrected back into this fight because he died via environmental means. Tvik falls down. That was to the resuit animation of Fury there. He died because he got too close to a D.Va that was resuiting. That's quite funny. So Fury managed to get a free kill in that regard. The Spitfire falling apart. Sire player goes for a swing outward. Oh, Jester's in deep trouble here. That was that brief window where his shield cooldown wasn't up. Takes a big hit, but it's not capitalized on. Oh,
Gesture stand on the point. Just keep applying this barrier. Florida, they'll use their Valkyrie. They have to be careful. They're probably getting close to a Riptire.
Especially because Prophet and Tvik are playing quite close, sort of, you know, you can see Prophet sees Tvik, so they're very near to each other. So Bidosha and Zenyatta's do very well with Infrasight for ease and pick off these kills, and Prophet knew exactly where to send the Riptire.
Like a war of attrition, you're not really doing much. Be a Riptire that comes in for Tvik, it'll be a supercharger that takes the brunt of that damage. Now you get Gesture, now you can start to push forward. But here's a Transcendence that'll allow the rest to come through from Nuss.
Yeah, Nuss gets it, there was no crowd control abilities available. Awesome Guy could have used the hold, I think it was on cooldown while that was happening. Awesome Guy has to back away, put the shield right in the corner. You know, he's playing a little bit more defensively now and managed to discord it. Tvik found Bidosha after his return to the fight, but look who's coming around the backside. It's a Junkrat, Sire player, and Zupe get knocked up, and what is down? It's so filthy. Prophet gets himself too. The mad scientist that he is. And now Awesome Guy is going to be surrounded. Unfortunately, the shield is only unidirectional.
This is where you thought they would have brought in Hureg to play Samphara.
That's filthy.
Right up the Zupe and Sire player.
So, I think it's safe to say, Matt, that there's work to be done for Florida on building out. So the Spitfire opt to sort of take point first and sit up on this far side, which will make them more vulnerable to sort of splash damage. Hureg fell there to Manhattan. I'm not really sure if he just fell off the edge there. We switched away from the last moment. He still looked like he had a bit of health. Either way, the one player down for the time being, and he won't be resurrected, so it could have been environmental.
23% of overall team damage on this end.
Here's the Transcendence. The Mayhem need to do something with this. They need to find picks or get aggressive or gain positioning as a response to having that healing ultimate. Where you going, Prophet? Oh, okay, Zupe. Yep, fair enough. One clip there, just a bit of a slap. Sire player's forced to recall, and now he can't go nearly as deep. Pulse bomb! Might find the double. In fact, not even really the D-shoot at the time. It's gets interrupted rather rudely while he tries to go for that barrage. He was brought back to life just to go back to spawn. It's frustrating, but that's what it's like playing against a team like the Spitfire.
Prophet.
Dude, this guy.
Zeba and Zupe are going to have nightmares about Prophet.
Yes.
I mean, he has just been all over them today. Second behind the rest of their team, he's just getting blown up by Prophet. Doesn't even stand a chance. There's going to be a pulse bomb on an Awesome Guy. They won't have the main tank here towards the end.
Fury could see that coming a mile off. He knew Zebosai was trying to approach the point, but he's avoided most of the micro-rocket damage by keeping Fury at arm's length on the Lucio. However, now Bidosha's here. It's going to be the Transcendence healing provided, and Hureg's more than happy now to play around the point, or at least close to Bidosha. There's so much healing, it can't be damaged through it. 99-0 here. The Florida Mayhem started off well, but this is looking pretty average for them, if I'm honest with you. And this will be the series now if they lose this one.
Gesture just kind of sitting here around the corner, maybe firing some shots. Gonna try and grab one, but I think you're always, like, they're just waiting patiently because they think that Sombra's going to come around on that flank through the tunnel.
15 seconds in, they can tab and see what the enemy team comp is. They can't see the team composition prior to that, and obviously Sombra's hard to spot. It may not matter though. As you can see, these picks have been pretty good. Zupa's down. We're seeing a lot of kills while Birdwing's just trying to set up. That's how the game goes sometimes, to be honest with you, as this Roadhog tank. Tvik managed to finally access Birdwing, who was actually playing right around the back up on that high ground. So Tvik has gone a long way around, as we kind of expected. And Manatin Discord all means he's no way surviving now. But again, he can set up the self-destruct, force people out of the building. Sci-Fi needs to be careful. Jester's looking for that hook. He's got it on cooldown right about now. Doesn't quite predict it though.
Could potentially zone some players off, pick some players off here in the open.
Jester, another hook failing to connect, so now he's just going to take a bit of a step back and wait for the rest of his team.
Well, yeah, and Zebosai basically wastes Valkyrie there, right? Because as soon as Valkyrie comes through, you just back on out of your London, so you don't really get the benefits of that healing. It's one of the downsides of using it to engage.
Tvik coming screaming past him, just a bit of health. That's the thing, if your opponent is low on HP and they're still hard to hit Deadeye for 1 second, then use it straight away.
Gesture will go back to Winston.
Much more standard now,
yeah.
isn't it?
Prophet will play Tracers. Get those two heroes in the game.
Mirror compositions. Sometimes we see Genji on the attacking side to try and break this with things like Dragonblade. A lot of flanking routes available. Birdwing. Sire player just picking cherries there. His head was about the size of one from that distance. But Birdwing's brought back because Florida are giving so much space to the Spitfire. You can get it and get those cheeky reses. And now Tvik's down, so the man advantage actually rests with the Spitfire despite them losing the first player in this fight.
They're going to use Transcendence as well. They're going to get aggressive now onto Florida. It's the awesome guy just trying to back on out. It's Prophet trying to find an angle to work with here.
Awesome guy keeping the payload just in stasis there. The self-destruct gets thrown in, but everyone from the Spitfire drops into the lower levels, and there's no one on the Mayhem to really capitalize on that, except apparently for Sire player, who's now woken up. He's been beaten Birdwing in the last 2 head-to-heads, but Birdwing keeps getting rezzed, and Prophet is just wrecking people. And now Sire player's getting a pulse bombed as well. You better believe he'll probably just go and kill Zupan. Gets the recall, the rest of his team was there to help him. This is a one-man wrecking ball. I've never seen such a dangerous player.
He's doing whatever he wants out there today.
Yep.
It does not matter. He's having himself an insane day of play here against Florida.
Florida getting dragged out of Route 66 by their beards, and if you look at Tvix, that's hard to do, but trust me, he's doing it. Manatin's gonna get desuited here. The rest of the Florida Mayhem have to back away and try and go one by one. Manatin faces the brunt of 5 players' damage. I hear an infra sight. That was coming from Birdwing, so it's going to be very easy for him to see where the rest of the Florida Mayhem are coming from now. It's going to be trickier for the boys in red and yellow to stall out this one properly. Yeah.
It's hard already, right? Because he's just dueling Prophet in these one-on-ones.
Yeah. Okay, Bidoshin down. Nice work by Sire player. Goes for the low ground angle, but again, because the Florida Mayhem aren't playing a full dive comp, they're not. Oh! Nuss is able to get a res on Bidoshin, and maybe the Florida Mayhem were a little bit slow on the uptake. Super, first final blow of the game. He found Prophet here. Now the Mayhem are sort of sticking together for the most part. Yes, they got a couple of kills, but not enough to make them feel like they can go tumbling over.
So use the infrasight here for London, so you gain a little bit of insight of where they're playing as you come out. It'll be Valkyrie used here by Zebo. It's also going to be infrasight used. Oh, nice Sire player. Nice stick there from Tvik. That probably seals away point A. So that's it. Got a pretty nice target for these Widowmakers. It'll be Valkyrie used by London. That'll force Transcendence out. This will also give London the edge in terms of support ults in this next fight, because you'll have Transcendence available. Oh yeah, he's super dead.
Oh, nice grab for the way! Can he find Birdwing here? One more flick. That would be the juice, so to speak. He didn't quite find it, and now it's going to be Bidoshin sending some orbs and Jester flying through. Frustrated, Winston's and your divas and such. Again, because it's very hard to do it on your own against a Zenyatta player, especially one like that. Sire player gets a pick, he gets a second, but there's no one else there from the Mayhem to really help advance this further. 3 kills is nice, but guess who's coming up behind him? Yeah, it's big boy Jester, who does take a headshot.
Yeah, but he forces him out into the open, though. Fury's going to come from behind finish. Break up that res, like you were mentioning.
Birdwing down, Sire player found him though. That's the turnaround. Prophet went in for a pulse bomb and didn't get one on the backside. And now on the front side, this is Bidoshin getting mashed. Tvik, he'd love to deal a pulse bomb to Nuss, but he's already flown away and there's no point wasting on Fury. Good fight for Florida Mayhem right now. They open it up with a good pick to start things off. Birdwing and Bidoshin are still returning to the fray, and the rest of the Spitfire are being cut down to size. Yeah, that's a parting gift from your boy Vic.
Also use that res on a Gesture. You do have Valkyrie here available. Now that the Infrasight's worn off for Florida, it's going to be Berberine that uses his.
Valkyrie used by Nuss to come forward. Sireplayer was jumped on immediately there. Tell that Sireplayer was slightly out of position, or at least playing peripherally from the rest of the Mayhem. And look at this, they transition into a kill on Zupe. The dive, very well orchestrated.
Zevo, Sai, and Zupe built up a decent amount of ult charge during the next fight. Just charge up maybe that Valkyrie. See Prophet just looking at there in that corner, using the emotes. Just position that camera.
Yeah, great camera angle there. Prophet found Zupe. This is over. He was in such a good position. Both supports for the Florida Mayhem are missing. Can they squeeze this across the line? Badoshin has been taken down, so at least the Zenyatta count is zero for both teams for the time being. Prophet finds his third for the fight, though. Manatin tries to jump in. It's a self-destruct on the point. Awesome guy. Can't do much but try his interpretation of like a half dab at more, throwing his hands around. Surprised he's not breaking plates. It's kind of what it looks like. He drops in. Zebasai, there'll be no resurrect for him. There's just no way to get that done. Zupe jumps in. Knocked away. Unbelievable. They're going to get this done. Sireplayer and Zupe combine. Zupe gets two. A Helix Rocket kill, but he's cut down by Badoshin. Now Fury knocks Sireplayer off the payload. Fixed Pulse Bomb doesn't fight Badoshin. And it's a quick little bit of extra healing coming from Nuss. That should be Struggle Town here now for the Mayhem. The rest of them are trying to get there. Doomfist, Manatin drops in. The People's Elbow comes down. He doesn't find a kill, and no! It won't be enough, and you can see the relief from the London Spitfire is acting a little bit too close.